Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be going over our different ninja levels and exactly what skills we want to be teaching, what skills are essential, and what skills are kind of like bonus skills to move kids up through our ninja levels. So we have a 3-level program. We have Ninja 1, Ninja 2, and Ninja 3. So I'm going to be mostly talking about Ninja Level 1 and Ninja Level 2 because once they get to Level 3, they don't have anywhere else to go right now, so we don't have any essential skills for them. But yeah, so let's kind of get into it. For each ninja level, or I guess both of them, I'm gonna have about 10 skills that are like really important must-have skills, and then some bonus skills that it would be great if they had these, but if they don't have all of them, that's fine. But maybe try to have at least a general understanding of the bonus skills to move up. So, hopping right into Ninja Level 1. So, our Level 1 program is going to include kids that are just fresh off the street, never done any kind of flipping or anything ninja probably, as well as probably some gymnasts who are new to the program, so you might have a big variety. So, that being said, if they are gymnasts, we might need to break some gymnast habits for them to move up. And if they're off the street, we might have to just, get them the skills. So, starting at first is going to be our rolls. I'm going to put this all into one thing. So that's going to be forward shoulder roll, backward shoulder roll, and barrel roll. Those are like a really, really main focus for the Level 1 program because they're just so important and fundamental. So all of these rolls should be able to be done pretty well every time in a variety of situations. So like jumping off of a mat, jumping over a mat, jumping off the wall, running into it, standing. So shoulder roll, forward shoulder roll, backward shoulder roll, and barrel roll, as well as forward roll and backwards roll should all be pretty solid. The next skill on the list, number 2, is going to be a cartwheel. Now this might seem easy, especially if you have some gymnast kids who might be joining your class, but it is really important that they have the over the side cartwheel and not the gymnast like face head on, turn 180. So if they're a gymnast, try to break those habits. If they're not a gymnast, just off the street, just a cartwheel on flat ground is perfect. The next thing is going to be a pop-up. So that is going to be the vault where you put your hands down and then your feet. So this can be tricky for some kids with different body types. So as long as they have a pretty good understanding of what a pop-up is, that's okay. Ideally, they should be able to do it every time, but not everything's going to be perfect. Next up, I'm also grouping these together as well as the next two is going to be safety vault and speed vault. So those are going to be our really, really essential vaults. So for both of those, it needs to be able to be done in a lot of different situations. So you might have to do your speed vault over this, safety vault over like that trapezoid that I hope you guys can see, or a beam or a really high block. So being able to do those 2 essential vaults over a bunch of stuff is really, really important. And then the other 2 vaults that I'm grouping together is turn vault and 360 because they're just so similar, it'd feel weird for me to break them up. So same deal though, doing it over a bunch of different heights, lengths, runs is great. So just a ton of situations would be perfect for those vaults. And now kind of moving into our ninja area, I just looked at it, it's over there. Here's what we're looking for. So for the warped wall, we want to get at least halfway up, if not a little more. And just important note about that, we count where their hand touches, not where their feet go. So if they can get their hand over halfway up, that is okay, because a lot of kids they run and they put their hands right in front of them. But if they can just slap a little higher, it would probably be better. So it's more of a conceptual thing more than a real skill necessity. But yeah, so hand over halfway up the warp wall. And also knowing how to get down because it can be a little dangerous. Next up is going to be they should be able to climb the rock wall and use the monkey bars. So that's just to show like a decent level of strength. It's nothing crazy. If they can do up the rock wall then across the monkey bars without falling, that's great. But if not, maybe something to focus on. Let's see. And then when it comes to the blue blocks that are hanging up by the rock wall, They don't need to be able to climb them at all, but I would just check to see if they can hang for like 15 to 20 seconds on it, because grip strength is super, super important for these levels. So we really want to develop that skill in particular. So what I do is I just put a kid on the block and I'm like, all right. And then I start counting. If they can get to 15 to 20, that's enough. And then the last really essential thing I have on this list is going to be a decent understanding of a precision landing. If, just a quick refresher, precision landing is where you land on your toes, knees bent with your hands up. It's like the parkour version of a stick in gymnastics. So as long as they can understand what a precision is, it doesn't need to be perfect. They don't need to be sticking everything they do. But if they were to move up and we're doing like a precision related assignment, they should just know what they're aiming for when it comes to those pre's. Now moving into the bonus skills for Ninja 1. First up is going to be re-grip swings on a bar. So I'm actually going to be filming a bar video right after this, so keep your eye out for that. But yeah, so being able to do a couple re-grip swings on the pit bar, the boys bar, whatever, is going to be really, really helpful for these upcoming levels. But more than anything, just knowing what a re-grip is super great. Knowing what a cat grab is, I showed that in another video on the green steps. So knowing what a cat grab is super cool. Being able to do a front flip into the pit or on the tramp, super great. Flipping early is highly encouraged. Back dropped onto tramp. So that's just where they're on their feet, onto their back, hands staying up, back up to their feet. Perfect. Let's see what else we got. Back drops on the tramp. The idea of a butterfly kick, it does not need to be perfect or great at all, but understanding kind of what it should look like is really, really helpful. Macaco on the floor or on a cheese mat, that is also great. Talked about that in the tricking video. And then wall run basics. The reason I didn't put wall run basics into the essential skills is because warped wall was in there, and warped wall is pretty similar. But the difference is that on the wall, you're only using 1 foot, and you're jumping up, you're not touching the wall at all. But yeah, so as long as they can kind of understand that, that's great. So that is the breakdown for Ninja 1. Hopefully that made sense. Once again, if you have any questions, you can come ask me, or just ask me in a video on it, and I will. Okay, so moving on to Ninja Level 2. First thing is going to be on a bar. So this is going to be lache basics. I'm also putting this in the bars video I'm making after this. So just real quick, a lache is where you let go in the front of your swing and land on your feet for now. There's also a version where you let go and grab another bar, but we don't need to worry about that. So understanding lache basics in the pit or on the floor is really, really helpful. Also on the bar is going to be a kickover using a low mat or no mat ideally on the bar. Super, super great. And then when it comes to the warped wall, we're looking for their hand to get above the black line. Maybe, black line's a pretty good indicator. If they can hit it pretty consistently, that's okay. But we're really trying to get them up there by Ninja Level 2. So hand above the black line is perfect. I'm also going to be looking for a decent butterfly kick. Now, that might seem a little random to have like a seemingly niche skill in here, but butterfly kick can actually lead into a lot of skills like aerial. It can actually lead to a Webster if you teach it right, and it's just a really good way to get them kicking over themselves. So I think it's really, really important to get that down. So a decent butterfly kick. Next up is going to be a back tuck spotted into the foam pit or on tramp. I know that sounds like kind of a big one, but my goal for Ninja Level 3 is to have them all flipping, at least on tramp by themselves, close to the floor, and then twisting. So having them started on back tucks a little earlier is super helpful. So this could be maybe like a bigger focus for the class if your students are struggling with it. What else we got? When it comes to vaults, a Kong vault is going to be super, super important. Pretty baseline vault. If they can't quite Kong, if they do like a cache or their Kong just a little shaky, that's okay. It's usually easier to teach when it comes to like thinner beams. So if they can't Kong over this, that's okay. But having them be able to Kong over a beam or something similar would be great. A lazy vault, a lazy vault in a thief vault, or a thief vault, either one. That'll be in the vaults video. I'm not gonna break it down here. And then in the ninja area, ideally they should be able to climb a pole and the rope about halfway or more up, as well as get halfway through the blue blocks. So we're really looking to develop that grip strength now because it's so important. So be able to climb a pole and a rope halfway up, as well as do the blue blocks about halfway through. And then the last thing is going to be a palm spin on either one of the steps or a cheese mat on the wall. That's great. The steps shouldn't be too tricky. So if they can get it on the wall, that's amazing. But as long as they can understand it, that's another skill I'm looking for. Like a level 3 skill is to do that on the flat wall. So getting the basics down in level 2 would be really, really helpful for that. And then the last little bit of this is going to be the bonus skills for Ninja 2. Here I have a diving shoulder roll. So this is going to be where you run. You could either go off of an object or just on the floor. You jump off your foot and then shoulder roll, because that's also going to come into play. 3 to 5 extra vaults. They can be whatever they want. But at this point, we're kind of hoping to develop more of a catalog of tricks they can perform, because a lot of this is going to go into their own personal creativity of free running and all of that. So if they have a bigger catalog they can pull from, that's amazing. So 3 to 5 extra vaults. It can be whatever they want. You can check out the vaults video for that. On the bar, being able to do half turns. So that can be either single switch or double switch. Doesn't matter. If they're turning, that's great. A wall descent. I might be making a video on that on its own because I didn't put it in the obstacle course video because it's a little bit higher level. But yes, being able to descend down the warped wall safely is really important because it gets them used to high places. And the last thing we want is a kid to get up the warped wall and then not be able to get down the warped wall. You know, that could cause some problems. And then the last thing that'd be really cool if they had, but not essential, is a J-step swing. I will be making a different video about that also, but it essentially leads to like a lot of tricking stuff and once again, developing kicking technique, which is so important for all of this. So yeah, so that breaks down the level 2 essentials in my opinion. Obviously, they might be learning some other skills along with these. This is not like learn these skills only. Ideally, they should be learning more than this, but essentially, this is what we want. Quick talk about level 3. I know I said they don't really have anywhere else to go, so they don't have essential skills. But if you ever end up doing a level 3 class, just my personal thoughts about it is, ideally, they should be able to be doing flips on the floor, on the trampoline pretty easily. Front tucks will be a little tougher, but back flips are a #1 priority. Laches catching, so that'd be like going from black bar to black bar in the ninja area, swinging, letting go, catching the next one, or even on the P-bars to get started. Back twisting, front twisting, all of that good stuff, ideally should be starting in level 3. Making it up the warped wall, getting really comfortable with balance. I mean, something I've been doing with my level 3 ninjas is having them support on the pit bar, climbing on top of the pit bar, and then front tucking off or back tucking off, just so they get comfortable on a really like skinny thing, but still doing the tricks that they're learning. So yeah, really level 3, sky is the limit, but that's kind of my personal vision for level 3 as of now. But yeah, so if you guys have any questions about that, let me know. I know there's some skills in here that aren't in videos yet. They will be, but they're not there yet. So if you have any questions before I make those, let me know. I can show you or just give you some quick tips. But yeah, so hopefully that all makes sense, and I'll catch you in the next one.